It began with a dead battery. Olivia Jenkins hurried through her morning routine, only to find her smartphone completely drained. "Can I borrow your phone?" she asked Ethan, who was sipping coffee and scrolling through his news feed. "I need to check if Dr. Rivera confirmed my appointment for tomorrow." "Sure," Ethan replied, unlocking his phone and sliding it across their kitchen island. "I'm going to shower." Meeting with clients at 9. Olivia navigated to his browser to check her patient portal. As she typed the website address, a notification banner dropped down from the top of the screen. A message from someone named Natalie. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you Friday. Don't forget to delete these messages this time." Her fingers froze over the screen. The world seemed to tilt sideways for a moment as her brain processed what she'd just read. She quickly tapped on the notification, which opened a messaging app she'd never seen before. The conversation history loaded, revealing weeks of exchanges between Ethan and this Natalie person. "Working late tonight. Miss you already. That new lingerie looked incredible on you. Don't worry, she doesn't suspect anything." Each message was like a hammer blow to her chest. She'd been with Ethan for 4 years. They'd talked about marriage, children, buying a house together. And all this time, the sound of the shower running gave her a few precious minutes. With trembling hands, she took screenshots of the most damning messages and emailed them to herself. Then she carefully closed the app, cleared the browser history, and placed his phone exactly where he'd left it. By the time Ethan emerged from the bathroom, towel wrapped around his waist, Olivia had composed herself. She handed him his phone with a smile that felt like broken glass on her lips. "All good?" he asked, kissing her forehead. "Perfect," she lied. "Have a great day at work. Love you." "Love you too," he replied easily, the words now poison to her ears. After he left, Olivia called in sick to the architectural firm where she worked as a project manager. She sat motionless at their kitchen table for nearly an hour, trying to reconcile the Ethan she thought she knew with the man who could so casually betray her trust. They'd met at a mutual friend's wedding 4 years ago. Ethan had charmed her with his quiet confidence and genuine interest in her work. Unlike other men she'd dated, he'd ask thoughtful questions about her designs and remembered details about projects she mentioned. Their relationship had progressed naturally, moving in together after 18 months, building what she thought was a solid foundation for their future. Now, she realized it had all been built on quicksand. Olivia poured herself a glass of water, trying to think clearly. The initial shock was giving way to something colder, more calculated. If Ethan thought he could live this double life without consequences, he was mistaken. She opened her laptop and began her investigation. First, she searched social media for Natalie, trying various combinations with Ethan's workplace and interests. On the 3rd attempt, she found her Natalie Winters, an event coordinator at the marketing firm adjacent to Ethan's office building. Her profile picture showed a stunning woman with auburn hair and a confident smile. Scrolling through Natalie's public posts, Olivia spotted Ethan in the background of a corporate mixer photo from 7 months ago. The caption read, "Networking with the neighbors. Great connections made tonight." The irony made her stomach turn. Olivia created a document and began cataloging everything dates Ethan claimed to work late. Weekends he'd gone golfing with clients, business trips that seemed suspicious in retrospect. She cross-referenced these with Natalie's social media activity, finding disturbing patterns. That evening, when Ethan returned home, she greeted him normally, accepting his kiss and listening to his stories about his day lies, all lies, while maintaining her composure. She noted how easily deceit flowed from him, how convincingly he played the role of devoted boyfriend while leading a completely separate life. "Everything okay?" he asked, noticing her quietness over dinner. Olivia smiled. "Just tired." "How was your day?" As he launched into another fabricated account, she made her decision. She wouldn't confront him immediately. No, this required a more deliberate approach. Ethan believed himself clever enough to juggle two relationships without consequence. Would show him just how wrong he was. For the next 2 weeks, Olivia lived a double life of her own. By day, she was the same attentive girlfriend Ethan had always known, preparing his favorite meals, asking about his work, maintaining their usual routines. By night, while he slept, she became a detective piecing together the extent of his betrayal. The more Olivia uncovered, the more her heart hardened. Natalie Winters wasn't just some fling or momentary lapse in judgment. Their affair had been ongoing for at least 8 months, coinciding with Ethan's promotion and increased networking responsibilities. One evening, after Ethan claimed he needed to work late, Olivia followed him. She watched from her car as he met Natalie at an upscale restaurant across town far from their usual haunts where they might be recognized. Through the window, she observed their easy intimacy, the unconscious ways they touched and leaned into each other. It was the body language of an established couple, not a casual affair. 8 months, she whispered to herself, snapping discreet photos with her phone. While I was planning our future, you were building one with her. The next day, Olivia called her closest friend, Jasmine. I need your help, she said when they met for coffee. And I need you to keep this between us. Jasmine's eyes widened as Olivia revealed what she'd discovered. That line, cheating. She stopped herself. What are you going to do? Something memorable, Olivia replied, her voice calm. But first, I need to understand who she is. Through careful research and a mutual connection at Natalie's company, Olivia learned that Natalie believed Ethan was essentially single. He'd told her that he and Olivia were practically separated and only living together until their lease ended. In Natalie's mind, she wasn't the other woman. Olivia was the past, and she was the future. He's played us both, Olivia told Jasmine. She doesn't deserve my anger. She's another victim in his game. The breakthrough came when Olivia discovered an invitation in Ethan's email to the annual Henderson Foundation charity gala, the most prestigious social event of the season. Ethan's company was a major sponsor, and he was expected to attend with a +1. Based on his recent text exchanges with Natalie, which Olivia now monitored through an app, cloning his messages to her phone, he planned to take Natalie as his date. He's bringing her to an event where he could easily run into people who know us as a couple, Olivia said incredulously. That's how confident he is that he won't get caught. So what will you do? Jasmine asked. Olivia's smile was cool and determined. I'll be there too. The architectural firm I work for designed the hotel where it's being held. I can get an invitation through my boss. She spent hours refining her plan, considering every possible scenario. This wasn't just about confronting Ethan. It was about reclaiming her dignity and exposing the truth in a way that would leave no room for his manipulations. You could just leave him, Jasmine suggested. Walk away and start fresh. Olivia shook her head. If I just leave, he'll spin a story that makes him the victim. He'll do this to someone else. Some lessons need to be public to truly stick. As the gala approached, Olivia maintained her performance at home. She even mentioned having plans with Jasmine the night of the event, to which Ethan expressed relief. That she would be occupied while he networked with clients. The night before the gala, Ethan held her close in bed, whispering about a weekend getaway he wanted to plan. The tenderness in his voice, once so comforting, now made her skin crawl. How easily he could switch between his two lives, showing affection to her hours after sending passionate messages to Natalie. That sounds wonderful, she murmured, while mentally reviewing the final details of her plan. Tomorrow would change everything. As she drifted to sleep beside the man who had shattered her trust, Olivia felt strangely calm. The pain of betrayal had transformed into something else, a cold, clear purpose that would carry her through what was to come. The day of the Henderson Foundation Charity Gala arrived with perfect late autumn weather. Olivia spent the morning at a spa with Jasmine, a necessary indulgence to prepare for the evening ahead. "Are you sure about this?" Jasmine asked as they relaxed during their facial treatments. "It's not too late to change your mind." "I've never been more certain of anything," Olivia replied, her voice steady. "Tonight isn't about revenge, it's about truth." After their spa treatments, they went to Jasmine's apartment to prepare. Olivia had purchased a new dress for the occasion, an elegant midnight blue gown that contrasted beautifully with her blonde hair. As she applied her makeup with meticulous care, she recalled how Ethan had left that morning, kissing her goodbye, with a casual, "Don't wait up" before heading to prepare for the client event. "He didn't even have the decency to mention the gala by name," she told Jasmine, as if keeping the details vague somehow makes his lies less significant. By 6 o'clock, Olivia was transformed. The woman in Jasmine's full-length mirror looked powerful, composed, and utterly stunning. If this were a movie, this would be the makeover montage before the heroine gets her revenge. Jasmine joked, trying to lighten the mood. Olivia smiled, but her eyes remained serious. "This isn't about looking good for him. It's about being strong for myself." They reviewed the plan once more. Jasmine would arrive at the gala first, texting Olivia when she spotted Ethan and Natalie. Olivia would time her entrance for maximum impact after they were settled and comfortable in their false security. "Remember, I'll be nearby if you need backup," Jasmine assured her. "I won't," Olivia said with quiet confidence. "But thank you." In her clutch purse, Olivia carried printouts of the most damning evidence text messages, hotel receipts, photos of Ethan and Natalie together. She had rehearsed what she would say, practiced maintaining her composure, no matter how Ethan might react. As her rideshare approached the Grand Hotel where the gala was being held, Olivia received Jasmine's text. "They're here. Table 14 near the fountain. She's wearing red. He looks nervous. Keeps checking the door." Olivia took a deep breath. "On my way." "Thank you." The hotel lobby was crowded with Shanghai's elite, dressed in their finest attire for the charity event. Olivia nodded to several colleagues from her architectural firm, who expressed surprise at seeing her. "I thought you'd be at table 14 with Ethan," one mentioned. "I'll be joining him shortly," she replied with a cryptic smile. The entrance to the main ballroom, Olivia paused. Through the crowd, she could see table 14. Ethan sat with his back to the entrance, one arm casually draped around the chair of a woman in a striking red dress. Natalie. They were surrounded by Ethan's colleagues, all laughing and enjoying the evening, unaware of the deception at their table. Jasmine appeared at her side. "Second thoughts?" "Not one," Olivia replied. "But before I go in, there's something I need to tell you. I added a detail to the plan this morning." She explained the final element of her strategy, one that would ensure Ethan couldn't dismiss or minimize what was about to happen. Jasmine's eyes widened. "That's brilliant and terrifying." "Are you absolutely sure?" Olivia nodded. "Some moments define us. This is mine." With that, she straightened her shoulders and began walking toward table 14. Conversations quieted as she passed, her purposeful stride and elegant appearance drawing attention. Several people who knew her and Ethan as a couple looked confused to see her approaching alone, especially as Ethan was clearly visible with another woman. She was 3 tables away when one of Ethan's colleagues spotted her and nudged him. Ethan turned, his expression shifting from relaxed enjoyment to stark terror in an instant. He quickly moved his arm from Natalie's chair, standing abruptly. "Olivia?" His voice carried across the suddenly quiet section of the ballroom. "What are you doing here?" She stopped directly across the table from them, her gaze moving deliberately between Ethan and Natalie. A moment had arrived, and with it, a surprising sense of calm. This wasn't just an ending, it was her beginning. "Good evening, Ethan," Olivia said, her voice carrying just enough to be heard by those nearby. "I believe you've forgotten to introduce me to your date." The color drained from Ethan's face as he stammered, "Olivia, this isn't I can explain. I'm—" "Sure you can," she replied evenly. "You've always been excellent at explanations." She turned to Natalie, whose confusion was quickly turning to understanding. "Hello, Natalie. I'm Olivia Jenkins, Ethan's girlfriend of 4 years, though I suspect he's told you a different story." Natalie's perfectly made-up face crumpled slightly. "He said you were practically separated? Just roommates until the lease ends?" Olivia finished for her. "Yes, I've seen the texts." The table had gone completely silent. Ethan's colleagues were frozen in awkward witness to the unfolding drama, while nearby tables had quieted as well, attention drawn to the tension radiating from their corner of the ballroom. "Perhaps we should discuss this privately," Ethan suggested, his voice tight with controlled panic as he glanced around at the growing audience. "Why?" Olivia asked, genuine curiosity in her tone. "You weren't concerned about privacy when you brought Natalie to our favorite restaurant last month, or when you took her to the art exhibition opening. I couldn't attend because I was visiting my sick mother." She opened her clutch and removed several folded papers, placing them deliberately on the table. "In fact, you've been quite public with your relationship. These are receipts from hotels, restaurants, even a weekend trip to the coast, all charged to your joint credit card, the one connected to the account we've been saving for our future home." Gasps came from several people at the table. Natalie reached for one of the papers with trembling fingers. "May 17th, she read aloud. "That's when you told me you were finally ending things with her." She looked up at Ethan, realization dawning. "But you weren't with her that weekend. You were with me at the Oceanside Resort." "This isn't the place," Ethan began, but Olivia cut him off. "It never is it?" She remained remarkably composed. "There's never a right place to tell the truth when the truth is inconvenient." She turned to address Natalie directly. "I'm not here to create a scene or to blame you. From what I've gathered, you believed you were in an exclusive relationship with a man who is honest with you. We both deserve better." Ethan made one last desperate attempt. "Olivia, please, we can talk about this at home." "There is no we anymore, Ethan. And as of this morning, there is no home either. I've moved my things out." She placed a key on the table. "You can keep the apartment and the life you've built on lies." She then did something unexpected. She smiled at the assembled company. "I apologize for interrupting your evening. Please enjoy the rest of the gala. The Henderson Foundation does important work." As she turned to leave, Natalie stood suddenly. "Wait." She removed an elegant bracelet from her wrist and placed it on the table. "You bought this for my birthday last month," she said to Ethan. "Claimed you'd been saving for it for weeks." Olivia nodded in recognition. "The missing funds from our vacation savings." Mystery solved. Natalie gathered her purse. "I deserve better than this. We both do." She looked at Olivia with genuine regret. "I truly didn't know." "I believe you," Olivia replied softly, as both women prepared to leave. One of Ethan's colleagues, his boss, Olivia realized cleared his throat. "Ethan, perhaps you should step outside. We can discuss your position with the company tomorrow." Ethan looked around wildly, seeing nothing but disapproval and judgment in the faces surrounding him. His carefully constructed dual life had collapsed. In minutes, before walking away, Olivia delivered her final blow. She nodded to Jasmine, who pressed a button on her phone. Instantly, every screen in the ballroom, The digital displays meant for showcasing the charity's work lit up with screenshots of Ethan's text messages to both women, displayed side by side, with timestamps showing how he'd switch from one conversation to another, often within minutes. As I said, Olivia announced to the stunned room, "Some truths need to be seen to be believed." She walked out with her head high, leaving behind the wreckage of Ethan's deception and the beginning of her liberation. 6 months passed like a cleansing wind, sweeping away the debris of Olivia's former life and making space for new growth. Spring had arrived in the city, bringing with it a sense of renewal that perfectly matched her internal transformation. The architectural firm had promoted her to lead designer after her work on the Henderson Hotel renovation received industry recognition. She'd moved into a sunlit apartment overlooking the city park, a space entirely her own that held no shadows of betrayal or deceit. Olivia sipped her morning coffee on her small balcony, reviewing sketches for her newest project. Her phone chimed. With a message from Jasmine, "Lunch today?" "Have news." "Absolutely." 1 p.m. at Rosalind's? She replied, smiling at the thought of catching up with her friend who had stood beside her through the darkest days. As she gathered her materials for work, Olivia reflected on how much had changed since that night at the gala. The aftermath had been intense mutual friends choosing sides, awkward encounters, the painful process of disentangling 4 years of shared life. But through it all, she'd discovered a resilience she hadn't known she possessed. Natalie had reached out a few weeks after the confrontation, suggesting coffee. Their meeting had been surprisingly cathartic, 2 women comparing notes and finding solidarity in their shared experience. They weren't friends exactly, but there was a respect between them, survivors of the same storm. He reached out again yesterday, Natalie had admitted during their most recent encounter, still trying to explain. And Olivia had asked, curious, but no longer invested. "I told him explanations are just another form of lies when they come too late." Natalie had smiled ruefully. "I think I'm finally immune to his charm." The professional fallout for Ethan had been significant. His company had moved him to a less visible position after the scandal, and several clients had requested different account managers. Reputation, once damaged, proved difficult to repair. At Rosalind's cafe, Jasmine was already waiting, practically bouncing with excitement. "You'll never guess who asked me out," she said as soon as Olivia sat down. "Given that expression, I'm guessing it's either a celebrity or Daniel from accounting, who you've been crushing on for months." "Daniel," Jasmine confirmed with a grin. "We're going to that new exhibition at the Modern Art Museum this weekend." She reached across the table to squeeze Olivia's hand. "Which brings me to my question. Would you consider making it a double date? Daniel's friend Thomas is in town, and he's apparently single, smart, and according to Daniel, not a complete disaster of a human being, which is his highest form of praise." Olivia hesitated. She hadn't dated since Ethan, focusing instead on rebuilding her career and sense of self. "Before you say no," Jasmine continued, "I've done my research. He's an environmental engineer, volunteers at the wildlife sanctuary, and Daniel has known him since college. No red flags. Just an opportunity to enjoy an evening of art with interesting company." "I'll think about it," Olivia promised, neither committing nor refusing. After lunch, as she walked back to her office, Olivia took a detour through the park. The afternoon sun filtered through fresh green leaves, dappling the path ahead. She found herself smiling, enjoying the simple pleasure of a beautiful day. At the park's central fountain, she stopped abruptly. Ethan was sitting on a bench, looking thinner and less polished than she remembered. He hadn't seen her yet, giving her the opportunity to turn around and avoid an encounter. Instead, she continued forward. This moment would come eventually, better on her terms, in public, with the strength of months of healing behind her. He noticed her when she was a few feet away, his expression cycling rapidly through surprise, hope, and uncertainty. "Olivia," he said, standing quickly, "you look really good." "Thank you," she replied, her voice steady. "How are you, Ethan?" "Managing," he said with a self-deprecating shrug. "Starting over, I guess." "I've been seeing a therapist," he clarified quickly, "trying to understand why." He trailed off. "Why you systematically deceived two women who cared about you," Olivia suggested, not unkindly. "That seems worth exploring." An awkward silence fell between them, filled with unspoken words and memories, both sweet and painful. "I am sorry," he finally said, "for whatever that's worth now." Olivia considered his apology, testing her reaction to it. There was no surge of anger, no reopening of wounds, just a quiet acknowledgement of a chapter closed. "I accept your apology," she said simply. "And I hope you find what you're looking for, Ethan." As she turned to leave, he called after her, Is there someone new?" She paused, thinking of Jasmine's invitation. 6 months ago, she couldn't have imagined being ready to trust again. Now, the possibility no longer seemed remote. "Not yet," she answered honestly, "but I'm open to the possibility." Walking away, Olivia felt the last weight lift from her shoulders. The betrayal that had once defined her recent past had become merely one experience among many important, but no longer defining. Ahead lay possibilities limited only by her courage to embrace them. That evening, she texted Jasmine about that double date. "I'm in." Life, Olivia had learned, moved in unexpected directions. The collapse of what she thought was her future ahead revealed a path to something potentially better, a life built on her terms, with honesty as its foundation. Whatever came next, she would face it with the strength and wisdom hard-won from the ashes of betrayal. As she watched the sunset from her balcony, Olivia raised her glass in a silent toast to herself and the truth that had set her free.